So there's been a lot of talk recently about vaxxers, but what I hear you ask about axers. I'm referring, of course, to this man, David Axelrod, who's here now to promote and talk about his new book. It's called Believer, My 40 Years in Politics. It's a story about the life and times of David Axelrod, and he's a journalist and in politics. And David, we're going to put this book up on the shelf and say, this is it's a memoir, and it's about the politics of our time. But it's also about, as I said, your life. So we're combining two great things. This is your life plus an obstacle course. Two great things that taste great.
Which my life has been.
So first, we have right here.
Now, what do you call this?
The kids call this a typewriter. So load up the paper, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. You know how to work one of these?
Load
it up.
I think I remember,
So the first obstacle course, and we'll put some time up on the clock here, so we're going to have to go fast. Yeah, you can do that. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
The first thing is, I'm going to give you a situation, and I want you to write a lead.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to
Wait a second. We'll do what we can.
Yeah, I'm going to read you the facts. All right, ready? The Cubs are about to play the White Sox in Game 7 of the World Series. Kerry Wood is a starting pitcher for the Cubs. Meanwhile, there are accusations of rigging the game within the White Sox clubhouse. Write us a lead off of that. Oh, man. You're a hunting pecker.
I'm a hunting pecker, yeah. Okay.
All done?
Tell us that you've become an artiste. You're no longer just a scrappy newspaper reporter.
All right,
yes.
I'm your editor. Get that to me. Pull that out in dramatic newspaper style. There you go.
All right, there you go. But I don't know if you can read it.
I
don't have my glasses on.
A century after the Black Sox scandal, allegations of cheating have
once again marred the World Series.
Very good. Black Sox scandal reference. Nice one.
All right, one more. Get that in there. You're going to have to write one more thing. It'll be shorter, though. This time you're going to write a headline.
You know, this is why we don't have typewriters anymore. But anyway, go ahead.
You're going to write a headline.
Okay.
Here's the facts for the headline. Ready? Donald Trump has bought the Willis Tower, and it's getting renamed again. But nobody knows what the name is going to be.
Is that right?
I got to say, this is a professional journalist. Like, no hesitation. It's like starts.
Well,
done? You got it? I'm still working here. Long headline.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull this one out.
It says, the Donald Trump's Willis Tower.
The Donald Trump's Willis Tower. All right, pretty good. All right.
There we go.
This is your life continues.
All right.
Here we go to the next stop along the line.
All right, okay.
Are you staying right here?
Yeah, we're going to come right around over here. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Now, David,
this is your life.
This is your life. We know one of the most important institutions in your life is a deli in Chicago called Manny's.
Yes.
You're in New York now. We don't have Manny's here, so we went to
good delis though.
So we went to Katz's Deli and got a sandwich. Now, there.
Oh my God! Yes.
All right. Now, there's also some stuff in your book about your being a little bit defensive about some of your reputation for being schlubby and having like stuff all over your pants and shirts and ties.
Neckties.
Yeah. All mythology.
So the goal here is for you to take 3 bites of this sandwich without getting anything on your clothes. Ready?
You know, I've got several stops after this, guys.
Okay, here you go. 3 bites.
And it looks
Gotta take 3 real bites. Look at that.
Look right up there.
Oh, he broke the sandwich in half.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There's mayonnaise up there. All right, there's one.
There's a little mustard on his hand, but technically none on his clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
This is your life. The clock's still moving. There's a little on his face. But again, the clothes, spotless.
Very impressive.
You got a napkin
Very
for this,
impressive.
man?
You got a napkin for that. Here we go. There's a napkin for
I need a tarp.
And now, this is your life.
By the way,
over here.
that's very, very good.
Very good. Yeah, it's New York.
Katz's Deli,
now
not bad.
We move over to the pictorial part of This Is Your Life. You stand right there on the hot circle.
Right on in? Okay.
And
there you go.
we're going to show you a picture, and you're going to see a little dialogue here, and you're going to have to respond just in the moment.
From a situation in your past.
Yeah, this is your life, David Axelrod. Here we go. Talk back, in character.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, really? We should tell people what we're referring to here.
Yes,
Fill it in here. This is John Edwards.
Tell the story.
This was a meeting that I had with John Edwards when I was working with him as his media consultant. In 2004, there was a great deal of friction within the campaign. I was up in New Hampshire at a focus group, and I got a message that Senator Edwards was in town and wanted to meet with me. And this was his opening line. And all of it was true except for the "you're still our guy" part of it.
Let me ask you this question. John Edwards, you've worked for Rod Blagojevich. You've worked for a lot of people. Is this the worst client you ever had?
No, you know what? John Edwards was, personally, he was decent to me. I never thought of him as a bad guy. He was generous to me.
Who was the worst client you've ever worked for?
The worst client I ever worked for. God, that's a hard question because it's like, you know, you forget the pain, and it's hard to remember. I don't know how to answer that.
What about, do you have a clear answer for who was the worst candidate spouse you've ever worked for?
Well,
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Look, Elizabeth Edwards, who, God rest her soul, was a very, very hard person for me to deal with.
All right, let's move on here. Next one.
Well, next one.
Fast forward a little bit
Right,
to
here we
another
go.
presidential cycle.
Yeah.
What did you say to that guy? Go ahead. What would you say to him in that moment?
Well, what happened is we lost the New Hampshire primary, as the art suggests. We were up 8 in our last track. Dave Plouffe, Robert Gibbs, our press secretary, and I went up to Senator Obama's room. He was up there with his wife. We knocked on the door because we wanted to share the news with him alone.
Yeah.
He came out in the hallway, and we said, "Looks like." I think Plouffe said, "Looks like we're going to be a little short."
Yeah.
And he said, "What happened?"
Right. And you said?
And well, there was a lot of movement in the last
Things shifted.
in the last day. But the thing that I most remember about it is him sort of smiling wanly, and he leaned against the wall and he said, "This is going to go on for a while, isn't it?"
Yeah.
And of course, we were embarked on the longest nominating struggle in the history of American politics.
He was right about that. Now, this is the last blasphemy past,
clock's
the big
ticking
pictorial
down.
one. Here you go. This big blasphemy past. What would you say to this guy right here?
I would say, where'd you get that big dark mustache? You know, the thing looks like an inchworm on my lip.
This story ran in Chicago Magazine with the headline of the story was Hatchet Man, the rise of David Axelrod. How did you get to be called a Hatchet Man?
Well, I think it was a poor choice of words on the part of the
Not as good a headline writer as you.
No, but the subhead was the one that hurt. It said, "He looks like an unmade bed," said his mother. Honestly, that's what it said.
Yeah.
It was.
Thanks, Mom.
Every son dreams.
This was not my favorite piece, and the guy who wrote it, who's also passed away since then, every time I encountered him, he'd see me coming down the street and he'd cross to the other side. So I think he knew how I felt about the piece.
All right, David,
which probably didn't dispel the Hatchet Man idea in his head.
Yeah. Congratulations on the book. Again, it's called Believer.
Yes,
David Axelrod. Our many thanks also, besides to David, to Gramercy Typewriter Company. That's on 5th Avenue here in New York for their exquisite Royal Quiet Deluxe. And, of course, David, congratulations again on the book.
Thank you very much, guys. Good to be here.